All right, so this lesson is now on geometric series. So we know a geometric series is the sum of a geometric sequence. Now, listen to me. This is not going to be, the more you practice this formula, it's going to be okay, but it's an involved formula. So can you listen to me so you know what it is? So if I want to find the sum, I use the letter S. N tells me how many terms I'm adding. And it's going to be a long fraction. And the numerator for the fraction is going to be A1 times 1 subtract r to the exponent n. And the denominator is just going to be 1 subtract r. The challenge is going to be that the setup is going to be okay, but you knowing how to use your calculator and using parentheses is going to be the challenge that you practice typing it in correctly. N is the number of terms. A1 is the first term. And R, of course, is the common ratio. So for an arithmetic, you needed to know the first term, the last term, and how many terms there were. For a geometric series, you don't need to know the last term. You need to know the first term, how many terms there are, and the common ratio. So there it is, the setup. Now we're going to practice. So in number 1, could you add this geometric series? 2 plus 10 plus 50 plus 250. For a geometric series, even more so, these answers can be very, very large. Okay? So don't be afraid if your calculator has a very large answer in it. So I need to know the first term. That's easy. That number is 2. I need to know the common ratio. That isn't bad either. 10 divided by 2 is 5. I need to know how many terms there are. Well, I got that. There are 9 terms. Now the setup. I want to find the sum of the first 9 terms of a geometric. We're going to start with a fraction line. We start with the first term, which is 2, and I go 1 subtract the common ratio to the exponent 9. How many terms we have? I want you to know the denominator is going to match the numerator except without the exponent 9. So the 1 subtract 5 and the 1 subtract 5, that's one way to remember it. So now we're going to use our calculator. So I'm going to help you through that. So first of all, because we have a numerator and denominator, we're going to start with a parentheses. And then you're going to put in 2. And then you're going to put in multiplying, and then the parentheses, because the calculator doesn't like it when there's a number and a parentheses beside each other. Then you're going to go 1 subtract 5 to the exponent 9, and you're going to close it. And then you're going to close it again for the numerator. Then you're going to do a fraction line and another parentheses. And you're going to type in 1 subtract 5, and then you're going to close the denominator. That is what you're going to do. And when you press enter, what you'll notice is the picture of the fraction you need will pop up on the calculator. So if you typed it correctly, you'll see the correct picture of the fraction that it should be. And the answer, of course. So the answer is 976,562. Are you going to be okay typing this in with your calculator?
Yes.
All right, try number 3. So in number 3, I don't want to talk over you through the video. I get that there's a lot of content today. So A1 is -4. The common ratio, can you divide any two consecutive numbers? -8 divided by -4 is 2. Now, in this situation, are you given how many terms we have? So what do we need to find out first? We need to know how many terms there are. Is that right? So what do we know is the last term is what? Negative 16,384. I know the first term is negative 4. I know the common ratio is 2. But what I don't know is what n is. You're going to use your calculator and use the solve button. Remember doing that? I'll teach you again. So, in your calculator, it can solve any equation. So you're going to press F2. You're going to go to the, which button? Solve. And you're actually going to type it in. Negative 16,384 equals negative 4, and then parentheses 2 to the exponent. We're going to use x instead of n. So x subtract 1. Oh, and put parentheses around that exponent. And then at the end, you're going to go comma x. So this is what it looks like. So make sure you put parentheses around the exponent. Go comma x. The comma is below the letter t in the middle of the calculator. And then what answer did you get? So how many terms are there? Isn't that handy to have a calculator that can solve anything? So 13. I mean, like math-wise can solve anything. 13. All right. Now that I know how many terms there are, now what is the setup to solve it? So to find the sum of the first 13 terms, it's a fraction line. We start with A1, which is negative 4. Then we go 1 subtract 2 to the exponent 13. And then the denominator is 1 subtract 2. Think what the parentheses should be. Type it in. You know you typed it in correctly if the calculator gives you this picture. If it's like off the picture, that means you typed it in wrong. And you have to think about the parentheses. Or if it gives you a syntax error, you used the wrong negative, or you didn't include a parentheses. The answer is negative 32,764. Number 5. And today I'm going to send a bunch of lesson and homework videos for you to practice. There will likely be an opportunity to practice a bit tomorrow, and the quiz might be more like at the end of class. We'll see how I feel. I got to redesign my calendar a bit because I missed a couple days. 5. Hey, do you remember what this notation means? And the Greek letter is sigma. It's a sum notation, right? I want to know what the first term is. What number do I plug in from the bottom to find it? So let's do that. What number are you plugging in from the bottom?
1.
A 1. Okay? You don't need a calculator. 1 take away 1 is, and of course negative 4 to the 0 is 1. And then 3 times 1 is, so the first term is 3. How do I know, by the way, this is geometric. Why do I know it? Because it's exponential, right? How do I know this is geometric? Because the rule is exponential. The variable's in the exponent. What's the base of this exponential? Say it's negative 4. So, and I told you that the common ratio is the base. So what's the common ratio? Negative 4. And if I go from 1 to 7, how many terms are there? 1 to 7. How many terms? Because 7 take away 1 is 6, but you add 1, right? There's 7 terms. Okay, how do I find the sum of the first 7 terms? Go. Set it up. And then use your calculator. Then I'll do it. So A1 is 3, and then 1 subtract. Now, for this one, you need parentheses around the negative 4. If you have a negative number, that's the base, you need parentheses around that base. So negative 4 needs parentheses, and then the exponent is 7, and then the denominator is just 1 subtract negative 4. It's okay if you decide that you're just going to put in 5 in the bottom. Make it easier. Use your calculator. What is the sum of that? So type it in. I want to see if you did it correctly. So again, it's essential you bring your calculator every day. You get it for the quiz and for the exam and so on. Did you get the answer 9,831? All right, turn the page when you're ready. All right, shh. We're almost getting there. We're going to do this one, and we're going to do the 3 stories. But, shh. Number 9, I need to know you understand sigma notation. What 3 things do I need to know? Is A1 the common ratio, and how many terms there are? Write it down and do the work, and do it in your calculator now. So first, how do I know it's geometric? Because this is an exponential rule. The variable's in the exponent. Step 1, what number are you plugging in to find A1? 2. So take out the C and put in 2. Notice it could be any letter. It doesn't have to be the letter N. Two take away 1 is 1. 3 to the 1 times 7. The first term is 21. Easily, what's the common ratio? And how many terms do we have? If I start at 2 and end at 13. Now, you need to plug in the formula and then use your calculator. So, the formula for a geometric series. And then know, can you type using your calculator? Takes practice. And then practice typing it in correctly. It's going to be a large answer. Did some of you get scientific notation? Or did you actually get the long number? So the answer is 5,580,120. Did anyone get scientific like 5.58? No? It gave the full number in your calculator? If you do get scientific notation, you'll have to have the ability to move the decimal to get the answer. So, set it up, use your calculator, confirm you did it correctly. Okay, read number 11. We got 3 stories and the lesson's over. So, number 11, 12, and 13. And I'm walking around. If you want support with your calculator, I'll give it to you if you ask for it. How's color guard? How's it going? Is it going? It's not supposed to rain this week, right? Beautiful weather all week. Here we go. Perfect for soccer. Perfect for running and running. We're healthy. We winning. Nice. We have a game today. All right, let's try this. So, number 11, the grocery store started raising money for local schools. That's nice. In their first month, they raised $4,000. Each month after, they raised 1.5% more than the previous month. Find the total money raised in 4 years. We got to be careful of units. Did you know that? So A1 is 4,000. Can you be careful first with what n equals? Are you thinking with me? Have you quit already on me? Try not to quit on me. In 4 years, and that's every month. So in other words, I need to know how many months are in 4 years. So did you see how you had to be careful with the units? Like every month and then 4 years, you have to multiply 4 times 12. Now, remember how I said you have to think about the ratio? So they raised 1.5%, yes? Now 1.5% is 0.015. Now, if I multiply times that number, the amount they raise would actually go down every month, right? Not raise. So 0.015 is the increase. So do you know what number needs to be in front? So it's not only the increase, but the full amount is the number 1. 1.015 gives you everything. So the common ratio is 1.015. That includes the increase and the 4,000, like together. So 0.015 is just how much did it increase by, not the whole amount. So 1 gives you the whole amount and the increase. So now, can you set this up? The total money raised over 48 months. A lot of money. So, big fraction line. We start with 4,000. 1 subtract 1.015 to the exponent 48. And then the denominator, 1 subtract 1.015. Take your time. Know you know how to use your calculator. So, type it in your calculator. Understand why it's 1.015 and not just 0.015? And then, do you know the formula to add it up? The total amount raised was $278,260.88. Read number 12. In number 12, Amari invested $12,000 in a retirement plan with an expected annual return of 7%. What is the balance in the account at the beginning of the 30th year? Do you know that we could use this formula if we wanted to? Do you remember way back 100 years ago? Do you remember that formula we used? That could still be used today and use it, but we're going to do something different, right? But we could use that formula if we wanted to. That was from 1,000 years ago, right? To do when we had that unit. But we're not going to use it. We could. Instead, we're going to use a geometric series. A1 is 12,000. N, the 30th year, is going to be N is going to equal 30. How much is it increasing every year? So 7% would be 0.07. But you know that that would only give you the increase. It wouldn't give you the full balance. So instead, remember in the formula, what did I add, right, inside that formula? What do I have to do here? It's the same concept. We need that 1, so it's what you have, and then the increase altogether, right? And then what's the sum of 30 terms? All right, you write it out and use your calculator. And we got one more after this, and then we're done. One more question, not one more packet. So, one more story, and then we're done. We got to get back to working today. I'm sorry I let you down last couple days. But now I'm feeling healthy again. Do you know those that have a good math eye will realize this formula is exactly the same as this formula? If you break it down, both left and right, they break down and they actually are the same one. All right, so how much money? That's a lot, right? You got an E. So did you get 1.133 or something like that? Is that what you got? And then E to what number? So do you know how many you have to move the decimal to the right? 6. Can you move it 6 to the right? Fully expanded, it's actually this. But it's 1 million. I'd forgive you if you put in 1,133,000. But you have to move the decimal 6 to the right. Over $1 million in the retirement after starting with 12,000. That's good, right? That's not in my retirement yet. 13. Are you okay? Can you pass the nurse? Nurse? Not nurse? Okay. Fill it up. All right, here we go. Last one. Carol wants to be a millionaire. Do you want to be a millionaire? No one wants to be a millionaire in here? You want to be a billionaire. I know. Why dream small? Not a millionaire. I want to be a billionaire. Here we go. Why dream small? If she saves 1 cent on the first day, and then how many cents on the next day?
2 cents.
And then how many cents on the next day? How many days will it take for her to have $1 million? Here we go. You ready? It doesn't sound like a lot, does it? A penny, then 2 pennies, then 4 pennies. So on the first day, how much did she save? 1 penny. By the way, what's the common ratio in this situation?
2.
2, because you're doubling every time. We don't know this. This is actually what I'm looking for, right? N, how many days it would take? Hey, but before we do the math, do you think it would take like years and years? Or do you think it would just take like days, like less than a month? Like penny, then 2 pennies, then 4 pennies. How many days do you think it would take? Like, is this like a lot of days to get to $1 million? $1 million! So, I know the sum that I'm looking for is how much money? $1 million. I feel like Austin, you know Austin Powers, is that way too old for you? And then someone has to tell him, you know, 1 million isn't that much anymore. Because that's what he wanted. So, I actually know the end amount. I already know the sum. The sum is 1 million. Remember, we're going to use our calculator to solve it. So, what's the setup so I can use my calculator to solve it? So, A1 is a penny. And then I go 1 subtract 2 to what exponent? N, I don't know what that is. And then in the denominator is 1 subtract 2. Do you remember the solve button on your calculator? Go ahead and solve it. Yeah, F2 and solve and type it in. $1 million. You started with a penny. How many days would it take to be a millionaire? So look what I'm typing in. Did you type in exactly what I'm typing in? What did I do? I did the same thing. Oh, I didn't put, so what did I do? I put in parentheses.
You didn't put equal a million.
Oh, I didn't put equal a million at the front. That's what I wanted, right? 1 million. Yeah, you're supposed to put 1 million at the beginning. Duh, right? 1 million. Oh! Oh, and then I typed it in wrong that way. Silliness. So, let's try to do it properly. Did anyone do it properly and figure out how many days it is? Silliness, right? So you get an answer of 26 point. Did you expect it to be that many days? Right, isn't that crazy? You start with a penny. That's how quickly you can get. So if you say, hey, just give me a penny today, 2 pennies tomorrow, 4 pennies, just that. Just keep giving me twice as much the next day. How long would it take you to be a millionaire? So it would take less than 27 days to be a millionaire. So the lesson is you should start saving. All right, GMath, over now.